It's AJ.
And Darah. Here we are, deep skydiving.
Skeep diving.
Skeep diving.
Yeah.
Deep skydiving, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Deep Sky.
Deep skydiving.
Oh, she got. Go ahead.
I don't know. That's
Go ahead.
not
Do
really.
it again. I missed it.
I don't have much more. Than
Oh, all
that.
right.
So, deep skydiving.
Deep skydiving.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we back. Let's go
Wait.
to the what?
Oh wait, we are back. Take two. No.
All right.
Action.
All right. Let's go to the Father.
Let's go to the Father because we're back.
Dad, we just come to you right now, just blessing your name, Father. Recognizing you as King, as Creator, as Father, as Elohim.
Yes.
Lord, over everything in our lives, and we just bless your name, Father. We thank you for this time.
Yes, God.
We thank you for friendship, for relationship, for love and companionship, Father. We just thank you for all that you've blessed us with. And we just pray that this podcast, this episode, will be good to the hearers. It'll be good to the ears. Let them comprehend. Let us articulate with clarity, Father. Let our thoughts come through fluidly. And just let our words be blessings to those who hear. And let us grow also in our relationship as we just communicate and pick each other's brains and just try to bring togetherness with ourselves and with the community, with the world, with everybody that'll listen, between man and woman, in every form of relationship possible, Father. But I just want to glorify your name. I thank you for all that you're going to do with this podcast. I thank you for all that you're going to do with us. Use us to minister your word and minister your love throughout the world, Father. And it's in your precious Son, Yeshua's name, I ask you all these things. Amen.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome
Did
back.
you start the thing?
Start what?
The timer?
No, I didn't.
All right.
But we can just ride with it. I know what time it is. So
Let's ride.
welcome back to Deep Skydiving, everybody. I am Darah,
I'm AJ.
and we are here for another episode.
Another episode. Are we
Another
going to close up the last episode? Did you have anything?
Yes.
All right.
No. So the last episode was what was the last episode?
What are friends and
What are friends?
Friends of the opposite sex.
Yes, but we didn't get to talk about something the humor that we.
Oh, we didn't.
Right, that was a piece
Yeah.
that you didn't get to bring up. It was another question that you also had too, in regards to.
It was something I wanted to bring up about the whole friends piece. In the Proverbs, it says a friend sticks closer than there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and it says, and a brother is born for adversity. So if you have a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and a brother was born for adversity, that means the friend is born for adversity.
Wow.
And I think that says something about true friendships. And I don't know, I think we might hit a little bit on it
On that today.
where I want to go. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
But I did have a question for you,
Okay.
but I want you to go first.
All right, that's cool. I was actually just going to touch on the whole humor aspect because when AJ and I were talking about what we thought about friendship or what we consider friendship being then and now, I think the one thing that was hugely important for both was the humor part.
Yes.
You have to have jokes. Like you like it's not possible to be in a friendship and everybody is like so serious and all that stuff. Like humor is a huge part, a huge piece. And even for us as women, I believe I was having a conversation yesterday with my cousin about how, you know, sometimes you'll see a woman with like a really unattractive man or like somebody who you don't even think
But
like
he's
is really
funny.
on her level, but he's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of times like I think the conversation was about Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson and like how that seems like a very like odd
I don't believe
matchup
it.
in comparison to what she was with.
I just don't believe it, but I'll go with it.
I mean, it's possible, but it's
Yeah.
also it's a rebound. First of all, like we have to call it a thing. But I do feel like he probably makes her laugh, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to laugh. Like
Yeah.
so,
Either laughter is the best medicine, right?
it really is. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Nah, it's funny you say that because
What?
my man, I ain't gonna say his name, it's gonna be messed up. But my man from round the way, he gone now. He doing big things too though. But he was a not a most attractive guy. I ain't want to say an
Please
ugly
don't
dude.
say his name.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say his name, but he know what's up because we used to make jokes about it. But when people grow older, it's like the ugly duckling.
Yeah, right.
So
he'll
yeah,
look like
I mean, I think
did.
he married now. Anyway, I think so. I don't know, but back then he used to always get girls, and niggas
Oh,
would be like,
see?
yeah, how he? Yeah,
'Cause he was funny.
but he know how to make them laugh. He had good
Yeah.
personality and everything. So yeah, I guess
Yeah, I haven't dated a lot of really funny guys.
you have it.
I think
They
that's
come.
the issue.
They come with something you probably don't want though.
That's true. Like they, have their own sense of humor, but I found myself laughing at them more than I was laughing with them because they made like a joke. But I don't think that's good to laugh at somebody, right? Like,
I think laughter is good. Period.
agreed. But I mean,
I don't.
It
I have
probably
a
has
very.
pull on
I
a
have
relationship.
like my humor might be dark to some people. So
Yeah, and I'm really strange because I like dark humor.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
My question to you though, because we did, unless you had something else.
No. Go ahead.
Because we did speak about men protecting women. And so I wanted to ask you, how do women protect men? Because I think
in
it's supposed
friendship?
to be both friendships and romantic relationships. I think it should be. I think it should be applied in both.
How do women protect men romantically and platonically? I think first and foremost, the protection is like when, like you said, in a couple episodes ago, you said something in regards to you feeling like you could share with me because I wasn't just going to gossip about it. I was going to, like, I had sort of like a solution. And even if I didn't have a solution, it wasn't given like, I'm just going to talk about you when you leave.
Yeah.
So I think that's a protection. One,
Yes, it
like
is.
safeguarding, your information, things about you, because obviously nobody wants to be like really discussed and talked about.
Yes.
Especially when they're in a deep, dark place in their lives. So just, doing that, I think a protection is also like when you come around me, when you come near, like making you feel like you're cared for, like you're loved. You know what I mean? Asking you about your day, making
Yes.
sure, that you eat, things like that. Like in a romantic relationship, I know that that's really important.
Yes.
And in a regular relationship, because I feel like I told you, like I'm the girl who
I'm the food
decides.
girl.
Yeah, I'm a food girl.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at work,
I mean, you're the food girl.
yeah, yeah. You were saying what I said.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just at work, even I'm like, what we eating for lunch? It might be like 10 o'clock, and it's like we have to make sure that we have lunch because we eat lunch at like around 1.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure like we order something, it's here, like everybody
We're
can
good.
sit down.
About
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, in my relationships, a lot I don't know if it's a guy thing or not, but a lot of the guys who I've dated, their thing is just been like, I just don't want to think about like what I'm going to eat. Like, I just want to be able to come in and I eat. You know what I mean? Like, I'll pay for it,
Yeah.
but I just don't want to think about it.
It might be a guy thing.
Maybe so. But I think about it. It's not like I'm like always like, you know what I mean? Thinking
Yeah.
about food, but just nourishment. And then also food is a delightful thing. Like, I feel like food to me represents a large part of community. I think that people are, sometimes they're happiest when they're enjoying a meal.
Yeah.
I think that it brings people together to break bread. So for me, food is a really, really big thing. It's just symbolic, for things in my life. So
How do y'all protect the man that can't fight?
So I think that if that's important to you, it's going to be hard. Huh?
And I said, come on with it.
Yeah, I
Come
think
with it.
it's gonna be hard if that's important to you, like as a woman. I think most women like we like to know like if we're out with you, like we're gonna be protected. So like if you can't fight, I don't know if that we feel protected.
Would that be a deal breaker? Like if a man can't fight, you can't be with him?
Yeah.
How would you know?
I think you kind of know based off of their attitudes. Like I know,
don't know.
Well, I know because it can be a lot of
don't
wolf
know.
tickets that's being sold,
A
right?
whole lot of wolf tickets could be sold.
Right. But what I've noticed is
And
that
a lot of quiet guys could throw down.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I've noticed that a lot of the quiet men are the ones who, they don't want to actively participate in fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like their thing is like that's what I'm trying to get away from.
Yeah.
And I get like those type of things come up in conversation. Like I had a conversation with one of them and it was like, what? Because I said, I never want to get you to that point where you get that angry. And he was
Yeah.
like, what? Because most women just be trying to push me to that point. Like they want to see me fight. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, that's not what I want for you.
I'm glad you said that. And because that's a way. So
Of protecting.
yeah, a woman being able to keep her composure, like not flying off, because then we have to do something.
Right.
Like right or wrong,
Right.
if you get yourself into a situation and the situation escalates or something, and it's with another male, then we have to,
Right.
you know, because we're not just gonna sit by and just watch this guy put his hands on you or something,
Exactly.
or you know, make you tower over you. We're not going to just sit by and watch that happen.
Yeah.
But if you were the person that instigated this situation, it kind of put us in a
tight spot.
And if he can't fight,
Yeah.
yeah,
I agree. I think that's very reminiscent of like what has just happened in our world with the whole, you know, slap
yeah.
situation. I think that
Yeah.
is important to note.
If
I mean, I think that's what happened.
If he would have had hands and he would have
Right.
retaliated and whooped on Slim,
I don't think he would have won.
I don't know. I can't. Just because he's bigger don't mean he would have won.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. What if Chris would have won?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like even with him slapping him, though, is to me, it's indicative of, I don't know, it just seemed very soft of a move, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. But I do feel like it was a reactive thing based off the reaction that his wife.
Could you be with a man that reacts violently, like with violence, to somebody that verbally disrespected you?
No. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like he put both of us in jeopardy.
Yes.
Yeah, he's not. If you react violently
Not
to somebody
thinking.
who's exactly like, you could end up in jail, and you're not thinking at all about the consequences, because you're not going to be with me when you're in jail. Like, not that I'm not going to be on my Monica. Like,
I wish most women thought like that. More women thought like that. Because it disgusts me to see, and I'll just leave it here. It disgusts me to see so many women say he did the right thing. He was protecting this woman. I'm like, what if that cost him everything?
yeah, that's true.
Are you
But
still
I mean, some
protected?
women just don't know. Some women have had such a low level of protection their entire lives that that's enough for them. Think about that.
Yeah, but then...
Or no
If
protection.
he was a regular dude or some C-list celebrity and then got sued, got his pants sued off of him and probably went to jail or something, then now how are you protected?
Right, I agree. But again, for some women who have been left unprotected their entire lives,
Yeah.
that's enough. Like, he's in jail because of me. Like, that's okay for them. Like, he was riding for me, so I'm gonna, you know what I mean? How long you got, boo? You got 5? Oh, all right, like, I'm riding for you. Because that's
Okay.
enough for them.
We gonna get on that.
Yeah.
We gonna get on that.
I'm just not that girl. So
Yeah, I'm not that guy either. All right, so today's topic. You ready?
Europe.
First off, what song you thinking about?
I'm thinking
I
about
hit you with it.
you did. I'm thinking about Money Long song.
Money Long.
Hours and Hours. The one we just listened to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love that song. You want me to sing a little bit for you?
Go ahead. No, cause yeah, sing it. Go ahead, sing it.
Why I grabbed the mic like I was really like
Cause you was about to sing it. Go ahead.
I
You
was.
was feeling it.
you just
Show
kind
him
of
your
took
voice.
it away from me though.
I took it out. All right.
It's gone. Hold on. You.
Deep breaths.
Yeah, let me like stretch my diaphragm. No, I don't have it.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's gone now. What's on?
All
What's
right.
in your head?
It's a Coast Contra song.
Coast Contra.
Yeah, they're
What is-
actually a new group.
Okay, give me a little sample.
My Lady. I can't really sing it. They're a rap group, but the song is called My Lady. It's like number 4 or something on their album.
Why you like that
That's
song?
It's just smooth. To me, it's the smoothest song on that album, and it's, I don't know. I like girl song. Well, it's not a girl song, but it's about,
A girl.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just smooth. You know, it's a nice little vibe. It's a whole vibe. I was listening to it probably like all day today.
Okay, that's how it was with Hours and Hours. I listened to that song a lot since I heard the song, right? And I know that people have been like running it to the ground on TikTok. But the reason why I like it is because to me, it doesn't leave anything to the imagination. Like it's like a complete song.
Yeah.
And then it talks about intimacy, and that's something that I definitely crave.
Yeah.
So to me, like when I listen to that song, like I feel like that's what I'm looking for, and I really want that. So it makes me listen to it, and it's so
All right.
smooth.
I ain't even want to keep going on it, but since you said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just let it flow organically. Since you said that, do you think that makes you more subjective to compromise for something? Like, because you yearn for the intimacy, that's what you want. And then if you're feeding your spirit that all the time, you remember how you said last episode, people might look past something because they're getting what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that could be something that blinds you? Because this is what you're feeding yourself and you want it. And then once you have this thing, you're not seeing that this other person has flaws or this other person lacks in this area.
I think that's quite possible.
Man.
Do I think that it happens to me? Sure, but not for long.
Because the song, you end up not listening to the song.
No, not even that. I think
Turn the
that
song
everything
off.
comes to light eventually.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens for me because I'm looking. You know what I mean? So
All
you
right.
might get through with the representative. The representative might make me want to,
You
look
chop
at
the
him for
representative
hours.
down,
Yeah.
yeah.
But after a while,
Give me
that real
champagne
dude.
showers or whatever the song say.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question for that too, but we get it later. So today's topic was
Friends with benefits.
friends with benefits.
And AJ picked that one. So get on.
Wow.
So get on him about that, guys. Like, no, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, get on me. Friends
So first
with
of all,
benefits.
What's your stance? Like, where do you stand on friends and benefits?
I don't want
with
to.
benefits?
I don't want to hit that yet.
Why? Seriously.
What? Because if I say that right now,
Then it's gonna mess up your flow.
it's not gonna mess with the flow. It's gonna. I just don't want to do it just yet.
Okay. Well, can I tell mine?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
No. Okay.
First, have you ever had any friends with benefits?
No.
All right, now you can go ahead and say
Well,
yours.
okay. Here's what I'll say, because I think it's important to know what the benefits are.
Oh,
The
all right, so,
assumption is that the benefits are sex.
because that's what the world,
And
like
other
when you say
things.
friends with benefits, the world is automatically thinking like
Sex.
it's a relation. They're not in a relationship, but they're having sex.
Right.
All right.
So have I been involved in a friends with benefits situation where it was purely sexual? No.
All
Have
right.
you?
Yes,
Okay.
but it wasn't. I wouldn't say friends with benefits, but
But it was beneficial. Beyond just might not have been friends.
we was cool.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't friends. Like we just had like a sexual relationship.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Does it have to like? So I guess my question is then, do you have to actually be friends to have the friends with benefits, or is that one of those things where it just sounds really good, like it's packaged that way, so it makes
Because I'm so literal, you know
Mm-hmm.
how I am. When people say friends with benefits, I'm saying, all right, so like us,
Mm-hmm.
we're not in a relationship, but if he was having sex, we'd be friends with benefits,
right?
according to what the world believes.
Because that's
with
friends,
benefits are.
right?
Yeah.
With benefits, right? Okay. So in your situation, you would still stand on the fact that you were friends with benefits.
Nah.
Okay,
That's
I
what I'm
thought.
saying. We wasn't friends. We knew each other and we was cool and we both enjoyed each other's private parts. How's that?
Okay. Okay, cool. So
All right,
I
hold
guess
up.
go ahead.
God, please guard this conversation. We don't want it to sound like we're glorifying
No.
sex outside of marriage or anything. So we do want this to come across clean and with purpose and with tact. So you just have
Absolutely.
your way right now. In the name of Yeshua, I ask you these things.
Amen. All right.
So what is your definition of friends with benefits?
So it's pretty much the same. I feel like there are two people participating in a friendship. And by friendship, I don't necessarily mean that there has to be like a bunch of depth, but definitely people who know each other, maybe for a long time, maybe for a short time, but they're clearly friends. Like they clearly have a relationship. It's not that they, just met each other and then they start having sex. But these are people who have, ironed out, or established a friendship and then they partake in physical activity or sex.
And they understand that it's just that we're not in.
Right. They don't have any desire to be romantic.
I don't think that lasts long
I don't think so either.
because I believe the woman is going to catch feelings somebody's gonna catch feelings. And
I'm glad you said somebody. 'Cause you said a woman at first.
yeah, most of the time it's the women.
I don't know about that though. I mean, there's no real way to like, because people live in delusion and they always live in like denial.
I understand you don't want it to be the woman.
It's not that I don't want it to be. I just don't think that if we took a poll, like if we took a real poll and like people were living in their realities, it would just be a woman thing. I don't think it would be like astronomical, like it's all women who catch feelings.
I don't think it'd be like 100%, but probably like 99.99. It's like
You tried it. But no, I really think that it would be,
Yeah.
here's the thing I said without living in denial. I think a lot of you all, like, it is gross for y'all to really be emotional. So you'll act like you, like, nah, I really want to feel her.
But this the thing though. If you already see how hard it is to get men to commit.
Mm-hmm.
So why would that be the situation then for them?
But we're not talking about a commitment.
I mean, that
We're talking about catching feelings. We're talking about you enjoy what's between my legs
If you
and
guys-
now you feel away because you want that to be just yours. That's an emotion.
it's like a commitment though. Like
Not
I
necessarily
want,
so.
if I say I want it to be just, that just sounds funny. If I
What?
say I want it to be just mine,
yes.
hey, I want it
So
to
that's
be
not
just,
something that you've
that's
ever
saying
said?
we that's a no.
You never said that. Like,
No.
this is mine. Like, no?
No, that's what I'm saying. If I'm saying I want this to be just mine, that's saying we're together.
I mean, but so I've heard of situations where the man wanted it to be just his, but he wanted other things as well. You've never heard of that?
That's just crazy.
You've never heard of that though?
I can't, not personally. Like I don't know
Like
anybody.
you don't
that,
do it, but
No, I mean I don't know anybody that held that. Like
well, maybe because I know a lot of women, but I've known like niggas that have been like,
nah,
this
can't
is
nobody
mine.
else, nobody else can hit this.
Yes, like this. I don't.
But
If
I'ma
you
do me.
start, I've heard of a man literally talk to one of my friends and tell her, if you start talking, if I hear about you talking to other men, like having sex with other men, I'm going to cut it off. So what is that indicative
I'm like,
of?
so what's the problem? I'm like, all right.
Right. So that's my thing. Like you can go and do whatever you want to do. He's basically saying like when somebody else is touching something that is
She
mine.
belonged to him.
Right. So do you get what?
Yeah,
okay.
but he didn't belong to her.
No.
Pretty much. That's
Correct.
it. You belong to me, but I don't belong to you.
Exactly.
I mean, that's sound like some pimp stuff, but okay. I mean,
Yeah.
people like pimps, to each his own.
Right. But I'm just giving you an example
Yeah.
of how there are people out here who have said that like I just want it to be exclusively mine.
I believe
because
that's.
I've caught feelings,
Yes, it's possible.
even if it's just for the vagina.
I know, and I'm not glorifying this in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But I know, like, when I was out there, there was quite a few that caught feelings, and I thought it was
This
just that.
benefits. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what did you say? Did you go in the situation like, "What's up, girl? You know I ain't trying to
I have
do nothing
hold
for
on.
real."
For one, I have absolutely no game. So you know damn well I didn't go. You know I didn't go in like that. I have absolutely no game.
But is
I
that
do
game,
not
though?
know what to say.
Is that game when you say like, "What's up?" Like I'm just letting you know, like I'm really not trying to be attached for real, but
Nah, I don't think people really say that until you get older. Like that's like a
yeah. So what
30s
were you saying? Like,
30s
give me
thing.
a.
I don't know. I wasn't really saying anything. It was just
So
Let's
here
go back
we
to my
are,
house.
people. This is the problem, right?
like,
so
let's
you
go
can't
back to my house.
right? Like you can't go
Let's go
into a
to the car.
situation expecting for somebody to feel the same way as you, and you haven't had a conversation.
oh, I thought it was common
No.
sense. Like
That's
it's day-
so that's
it's
a
day
huge
2
thing.
and we
Well, that's the reason why I'm telling you.
Oh.
That's a huge thing with friends with benefits is you have to have a conversation about the fact that you are being friends with benefits. If you don't have that conversation, that's not what is happening.
Oh, so what's happening is we a thing. That's what's happening by
No,
default.
it's not happening that you're
Oh.
a thing, but you can't be mad if somebody, starts feeling you or wants more if that's not a conversation that you've had in the beginning. Because but the
not
other
gonna be
disclaimer
mad.
is it don't matter if you have the conversation. A lot of y'all know y'all done had people who done said, "I'm not trying to be committed," and y'all done slept with them, and then y'all became, on some like I want a committed situation, or you've acted as if you were a girlfriend or a boyfriend because you wanted to keep that person in your life.
So women won't go, most of them won't go long in a situation like that without wanting something more. I know that. Like, it's the women that are fine with this is just what we doing and this is going to stay like this. They're hurt in some kind of way. They're torn or something. Something's wrong with them, and they're trying to just use a man just like men use women. But 9 times out of 10, it's no way you're gonna keep getting good loving and then not want anything more. Like, at some point in time, they're gonna be like, how long are we gonna be doing this?
So why is it in your expertise?
My
Is it?
expertise. Hold on, don't make it seem like I'm out here a thousand
No.
strong.
I'm not
Like,
saying that. I'm not giving you a
In your
title. What I'm saying
expertise.
is, as you're saying something so very deliberate about a woman or women wanting more, why do you feel like it's such a comfort level for men to have sex with multiple people or get some really good loving and not want the same things that we are wanting? Because that's what I'm taking from your statement, is that you're saying,
Because sex means 2 different things to men and women.
Elaborate.
I don't think this is the time.
Seriously.
So, all right, you help me out. I'll speak for the men, and you speak for the women. I didn't even plan on going this direction.
Okay.
But to us, sex is sex. That's it. Like, it's not, we don't have to be emotionally attached to anybody. Like, you don't have to stimulate our brain. It's like naked body. Let's do this. If it's working.
Right.
Naked body. Let's do this. This is what I'm here for. And then afterwards, we could go about our business like it's nothing. Unless you love the woman. But when it's just sex, it's just sex. That's it. Now, how is it for women?
For us, it definitely is more involved, mainly because, see, it's a little bit more than physicality for us, because of the fact that, like, we get revved up from up here. Like, y'all literally physically can just get revved up. Like, sometimes you can have a mental thing going
You
on.
could just
but
rub a
sometimes-
booty across the front side of a man. It was like,
Yeah, or you could
That's
just
the
be
sign.
at Taco Bell, and then he's ready. Like, y'all, you know what I mean? Like,
that's true.
Yeah, so
It
for
never
us,
happened for me at Taco Bell, but it's very well possible. I don't go to Taco Bell. So
we don't
but-
give any endorsements to Taco Bell.
Yeah,
Never
none.
mind.
Yeah.
Bleh. But anyway, no.
Women, you shouldn't want Taco Bell meat anyway.
No, because
Go
it's
ahead.
not meat. Anyway. Yeah, no. So what I was saying was basically, I think that because and just get read usually from our brains, I think that there has to be a level of connection in order for us to, when we process sex, it's usually through, the mental connection more
Yeah.
than it is just, physical. But I do know that there are women
Of course.
who can just do the physicality part of it and then detach.
Yeah.
But while we're here, I wanted to note the type of people that find it easier to enjoy sex without strings.
Men.
So you have non-romantic people. And this is because I want to make sure that
Yeah.
like, it's not necessarily a gender specific thing.
Yeah.
But you have non-romantic people, you have people looking for an extra piece to curb a sexual appetite. So they're already in a relationship, a romantic relationship, and they may be getting everything that they need romantically, but sexually that person may not be keeping up with their sex drive. So those type of people,
So they're cheating.
they're cheaters. Sex workers, sexual violence and abuse victims, self-preservation attachment style, and that's a fear of intimacy. And I'll tell you more about attachment style. And then mental health conditions. So like, people who have like, paranoid schizophrenia, like things like that, like they can be detached from the sexual urges and stuff like that.
Yeah. I know. Man, that runs deep. And especially when you start talking about like traumatic events in people's lives and
Yes.
everything, and then they're looking for something they just want to feel. Like, I know some women that they was having sex just because they wanted to feel wanted, and at that moment it made them feel like somebody wanted them, and made them feel like they had some kind of significance to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And that's sad.
It is.
But
It
you was about to
is.
say something else?
Well, I was going to talk about the people who should avoid it. I mean, of course,
What?
According to-
friends with benefits or the sex?
friends with benefits.
All right.
Detached sex.
Detached sex.
Because that's what you basically have to
Pretty
be
much.
in order to have friends with benefits. But rejection sensitive people, people with chronic depression, people with traumatic history, and people with abandonment issues. So if you are somebody who is constantly like worried about what some other people think and or how other people feel, and you can't go without that person talking to you and all this other stuff, that is not something that you should participate in. But I only included those because I wanted to talk about the people who, you know, find it easier, and then the people who should just avoid it altogether.
Yeah.
Because again, AJ and I are not promoting that you go out and, you know, do the whole friends with benefits thing, but we realize that we're in an imperfect world. Like, we live in a place where people are participating in this very like detached sort of physical relationship with people, with other people. So
I've lived that lifestyle before.
yeah.
Not something I'm proud of, but I understand it.
Yeah.
I do understand it. But I do want to say this. On the sex thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
At what point in time, just throw friends with benefits out. Throw the friends sex thing out, right? But just casual sex. At what point in time does that end for a person? Like, when do you say, I don't want to have casual sex anymore?
When the void is, you know, when you realize it's an insatiable need. It's almost like, you know, when you are people who drink to avoid their problems, right? At the end of the day, you know, you gotta go get the fifth. Maybe you're not gonna, you know, make it to the liquor store, or it closes, or whatever the case. So you're kind of like left with that. And some people, you know, for them it's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna wait till the liquor store opens the next day. But then there's something that pops on that lets you know, or allows you to see that maybe it's a switch or whatever that allows you to see that something is just not happening. Like, it's still like nothing's. I'm throwing all this dirt in this hole.
I'm doing this for nothing.
Exactly, and I'm not feeling anything from it.
Yeah.
Or you look up and you done had sex with 79 women or 79 men or whatever the case.
How you know? Say nah. Jokes.
I hope that's not
Jokes.
the case. You're a poor little Peter John.
Little.
Oh wait, sorry.
Nope. Go ahead.
No, but I mean, you look up and then you realize like it's just not doing it for me. Like, I feel like that's what happens. Or there's that person who you do really like desire a connection with that you end up having sex with. Because again, for me, I feel like sex is a lot more than physicality, but even on like a spiritual level, I feel like, you know, I think it's deeper for women too, because everything that a man has, every partner that he's had, whatever's going on in his world, all of that is being deposited inside of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about sperm. Like, I'm literally talking about the melding of spirits when you have sex. And regardless of if you like to acknowledge it or not, that's what's happening.
Yes.
So so if you're the plug and I'm the socket, then you know what happens. Like, there's an electric current. Yeah, something does go to you, but you're like, you leaving something with me as well.
That's so true. And this might sound crazy. I don't know. I don't care. But out of all my girlfriends, the fake ones in the real relationships, whatever, I've only had unprotected sex with one of them.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one you have the deepest connection to?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that's real.
It's definitely real. I don't know if it's a soul tie. I ain't gonna say that.
I think so. I mean, for me, that's definitely been the case. Like, you know, it's just hard to separate the two, I think, especially for me. Like, so in my experience, I think it's kind of like the same thing. Like, I feel like I have a soul tie, and maybe it's not as tight as it was. Yeah. Because of who I'm becoming and all this other stuff, but only to that particular person because of the, you know, the fact that we had, you know, unprotected sex or whatever.
That experience, yeah.
Yeah.
We gonna get on soul ties too, though.
Yes,
in the future.
That is definitely one of our topics.
Yeah.
But I did want to go over attachment styles, if you don't mind. And you tell me, like, which one you fall under, because I think that would be interesting.
All right.
So there are three.
Go ahead.
There are three different attachment styles. You have secure, you have anxious, and then you have avoidant. So for secure attachment styles, that's supposed to be most people.
It's probably me.
In America, yeah. It says that these people are comfortable with intimacy and they're more likely to be satisfied in their relationships. They never smother their partners and trust them to lead an independent life while also knowing when to be honest, intimate, and supportive. They are accepting of their partner's shortcomings, and they don't manipulate or play games because their self-esteem is fairly high. Even in conflict, they are better equipped to make their points while listening to the grievances of their partner without getting overly defensive, so they don't get sucked into a perpetual cycle of criticism and fighting.
All right. I don't want to choose yet. I want to hear the other ones.
Yeah, so that's secure.
Yeah.
Anxious attachment style individuals become incredibly unhappy and worried about being too much or too little for the person they are dating and take everything incredibly personally. They often expect for their relationship to define them, rescue them, or complete them. They cling to their partner codependently because they are afraid of being alone. By being desperate to hold on to their bond, they end up breaking it and in a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
In an attempt to alleviate their relationship anxiety, they sometimes play games in their relationships to get attention. This can be acting out, trying to make their partner jealous, or withdrawing and stop answering texts and calls.
Mm-hmm.
So that's anxious. And of course, I'm just giving you a little snippet of it because it's way deeper than this. The last one is avoidant. And avoidant attachment style folks, they completely avoid relationships altogether or keep anyone new that they meet at a distance. They can be divided in two categories, dismissive and fearful. Dismissive avoidants tend to be emotionally distant and come off as overly focused on themselves. Fearful avoidants are afraid of being too close or too distant, so they struggle to keep their emotions in check, and the result is mood swings.
I know people who fall under all three of those categories.
Yes, and so I'm glad that you said that because I was having a conversation earlier about how I feel like I can be two of those things. Well, actually, three of those things.
I'm definitely only one.
Okay, which one are you?
Secure.
Okay.
Like without a shadow of a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm neither avoidant or anxious.
I am secure and avoidant. I'm not anxious.
Are you avoidant because you want to be sure?
I'm avoidant when it comes to people who are anxious, who have an anxious attachment style.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm avoidant too.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson from that one.
Yeah, when people get overly like, you know, when they play games and stuff like that with me, I can definitely become detached.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I just don't even want to be bothered.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not avoidant. I'm gonna address it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely be like, look here, I'm not here for that.
Right. Yeah. I'm more susceptible to addressing it, but in the moment, like when it's happening, like I can be very avoidant.
It's irritating.
It is. I agree.
I'm definitely secure. Like you could be 100% independent in a relationship with me.
Yes, that's why I identify with secure too.
Yeah,
because I think we talked about that in our very second episode about individualism. About how that was first. Yeah. So we talked about how AJ and I can be very hands off when it comes to like people just living their lives and being their individual selves. One, because we don't really have that insecurity of like always thinking that the person who we are with is cheating or anything like that. Like that's not my first mind. Like if I don't talk to you all day, I'm not thinking, oh my gosh, he's probably cheating on me.
I'm never thinking it.
Right.
Never.
That's
like,
usually not my, I'm not thinking
I
that
was just
all.
talking to my cousins yesterday. I was over her house. I said, if I have to think it, I'm not going to be in a relationship with you.
Right. Period.
And I said something that was kind of not fair. I was like, if I suspect you're cheating, it's for a reason. Mm-hmm. And like women, 9 times out of 10, I probably already know.
You already know. Yep.
But if I don't, and I expect that you're cheating, or I suspect that you're cheating, and I ask you, and I feel like you're lying, I'll break it off.
Yeah.
But if I ask you and you tell the truth, and you have stepped out, I'm breaking it off.
I was about to say, are you gonna say you're gonna stay?
No, but that's what my cousin was like. That's not fair. Like either way, it's breaking.
Right, it's breaking it off.
So I'm like, nah, because they could tell the truth and I believe them. Like if they tell the truth and they haven't stepped out and I believe them, then I'll stay.
So this is related but unrelated.
What?
But is cheating the worst thing that a girl can do to you? Like, would you leave your girlfriend or wife for cheating on you?
I don't want to.
It could be two separate.
I don't want people to
answers.
be like, "Oh, I'm marrying him."
I mean, but this
My
is,
girlfriend,
this is honest
yes, no doubt
conversation.
about it.
You leaving her?
100%. It ain't even. It's not even a point. It ain't even a 99.99. 100%. You getting left if you cheat on me. My girlfriend, yeah.
Okay.
My wife is a different story because I done made a covenant with God.
Right.
We are getting separated. You about to go without me for some time though, because one, I need time to heal. I need time to. I really need to be with God on the 101 and like, all right, look how I'm moving forward with this because I don't want to go back. And so I need this. I need to separate so that I got space to repent and really gather everything that needs to be gathered in order for me to try to make this thing work. If she wants to make it work,
Okay.
because the type of women I deal with, they don't cheat.
Okay. Can you write down?
And if they did, I'm sorry, if they did cheat, they're probably on their way out the door. Like I'm thinking they probably already checked out from being with me.
Right. Okay.
But go ahead. What
Can you
write?
write down that needs to be a topic for us because I think that I think that that's something that you all and you guys let us know if that's something that you want to discuss how women and men see cheating too.
All right.
How that can be there can be very adverse responses to that. Because I've been in a lot of different rooms and asked the same question. And I can't say that I've been in a room where there were like an overwhelming amount of men. But I can say being in a room with women, cheating is not the worst thing that a man could do to them.
It's probably not the worst thing you could do, but it's definitely going to be
A deal breaker.
deuces.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's not so. It's not the worst thing that could happen to them, but it's also not something that would necessarily, make them
be
leave.
a deal breaker. Yeah.
And also that there are a lot of women who have experienced long periods of cheating from the same man, and
never
then
left.
they cheat. It never left, and then they cheat, and he's gone.
I know somebody that happened with. And
It's usually the man that leaves.
Yes.
So we need to talk about that. That's why I said I want you to write that down because I think that that's important because
Yeah.
we see it differently. It's obvious.
I definitely know somebody that. I don't know if I got hair on my lip, tongue, whatever.
Yeah.
I know somebody that did that. Like they told me, I was like, "Didn't you cheat on her?" Like, yeah. Like, so how you gonna leave when she cheat on you? He's like, she don't know I cheated on her.
Oh wow.
Right.
That's different. But also, it to me, and I also probably repeat myself, but when I thought about it at first, it did make me a little enraged because it's like, how dare you? But it's like we as women don't have to take y'all back, but we do.
Yep.
We don't have to. But so we can't be mad that a man has, the I guess determination or the strength that we need to have in those situations to walk away from a situation that's not serving us.
I don't know why my mind just went there.
What?
I'm stupid. Don't
What?
mind,
Where'd it
don't
go?
mind me. And I was like, while you were saying that, I was saying, and y'all thought y'all had the power down there.
Oh, we do.
The real power is over here.
No, it's not.
If y'all,
No, it's not. No. So we do have the power, but it's just like a tool. You know what I mean? Like you have to know how to use the tool in order for it to be effective.
but if we could take our power and go,
You don't
go
have
be
any.
be the source to somebody else, y'all take us back. But if your power goes somewhere else, we like, it's not enough power to keep us.
Right, but what we're missing is that we can go somewhere else
Yep.
and be just as well. Because if you're being
Can you?
abused,
Grass
yes,
ain't
you
greener on the
can.
other side.
No, but you can though. There's always a man
Alright.
that's going to appreciate what you got.
I tell you this.
What's that?
I don't care what anybody says. You will never be better off with the person that you cheated with.
Never.
I have no respect for
But
that
that's not to
individual.
say that the girl is going to go with the guy who she's cheating
Oh, all right,
with.
well, cool.
Yeah, I
All
wasn't
right,
saying
yeah,
that.
all
Like
right.
that's not always the case because she might realize she don't want either one of them. But I just don't
if you
think
were
that
smart, you would realize that. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to be with somebody that took me as a cheater.
Right.
Like you was dealing with a married man. Like I
Right.
don't respect that.
Exactly.
I was just getting a nut, but you dirty.
Yeah. The standards. It's the standards.
Yeah,
It's
it
the
is.
standards. But I do think just, seeing both sides of the coin, this is not to say that women who do take their men back are dumb or anything like that. I think that there's a reason why they do that.
I think so too. I
it's
want to
just not
dive
something
into
that
it.
I
I
would
just don't
do.
want to do it right now. because
Yeah, we don't
that's
have to. We
that's a
don't have
good
to
one.
deep skydive into that.
Yeah.
But so you were saying, back to these attachment styles, so you were saying that you would be considered secure.
Definitely secure.
So if somebody is secure, reading what we've read, or coming down to the conclusions of what a secure attachment style is, you believe that would be somebody who's more susceptible to being a friend with benefits?
Somebody that's secure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because they're just so used to being independent. Mm-hmm. And I already know, like, back then I was more susceptible to being friends with benefits. I didn't want relationships. Mm-hmm. So all I wanted was benefits. Mm-hmm. When the benefits were sex, that's all I wanted. I didn't even know if women were good for anything else back then. Mm. So.
Wow. There's something else there.
What?
I'm just not really sure how to put my finger on it. That you said that you didn't realize that women, there was more to it. Like that's to me, I feel like that's a character issue. So you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you were at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can only deal with the deck of cards that you had.
I know men today that struggle with their partners that'd be like, if only thing they could take away from me is sex. Mm-hmm. Several. Now, I'm not talking about like one or two men. I know several men that'll be like, the only thing that my girl could take away from me is sex. Mm-hmm. Like if she left, I literally wouldn't lose anything.
Wow. So that's all that she's good for. Is that what they're saying, or what do you?
Whatever she takes with her, that's what they're saying. It's not worth me being stressed or anything.
So the sex would break them.
They would
miss it. It would be a problem.
I don't know if it'll be a problem. They would miss it. They'll just go ahead, just like most men do. When one door closes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I still think that that's indicative of like the power that women carry in that area. So one of my friends said that her mom always says it, and it was actually the first time that I heard it, but it made so much sense. But she said that men have the key to the relationship and women have the key to the sex.
What does that mean? Men have the key to the relationship.
So, you choose, right? Y'all are the ones, like, y'all have to be okay with like wanting to be in a situation. Like, we usually be like ready.
Hold up, what'd you say?
Y'all choose.
I know.
What? Y'all do, but that's just relationship. I didn't say marriage.
Nah.
So, okay, because AJ is still fighting me on this.
We're not going there.
We have to, because I really feel like a woman, that really is literally like the biggest choice that you make at the end.
For both of us.
Just because you ask me to marry you does not mean that I'm going to say yes. That's my choice. And if you're asking me,
you can't marry me if I don't choose you.
Right. But I choose you. Like, that's how the marriage happens. Right?
No. So this is how the marriage happens. I choose you, and then you can respond to the request.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a choice.
But if I never choose you, there's no request for you to respond to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm the number one chooser. You're the number two chooser.
I'm the ultimate chooser. That's all I'm saying.
You're the final chooser.
Yes.
All right, we'll just say that.
Yeah. So it's not to say that one is bigger than the other, but at the end of the day, you can marry me without me giving you permission to do so.
I mean, in this culture, you can't.
That's true. So next, I wanted to talk about what the Bible says about friends with benefits.
All right, it might coincide with what I want to say. I don't know.
Go ahead, you can start.
But my friends with benefits, right? Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we could go back and forth because they might correlate.
Okay.
So my friends with benefits, when I think about friends with benefits, so we're jumping from the world's definition of friends with benefits
to the spiritual.
Because we have a renewed mind, I see a lot of things differently now.
Right.
And so for me, I can't even say casual sex stopped when I came in Christ, but there was something that really dampened it down a whole lot. I was reading Jason Wilson book, and I never looked at it like this, and it changed my perspective of myself. And he was saying, women, like girls, are always taught that what they have are precious, but boys aren't.
Right.
And so that changed my whole perspective. I was like, dang, what I do have is a blessing. And it is something precious, and it is something that shouldn't just be spewed out into the streets. Like I shouldn't just be wasting seed any and everywhere. And I'm looking at it like most men, it just feels good or something. But now it's like it just means so much more to me. And it's crazy that we saying this now because we chose this topic like last week and yesterday, Sunday, like when I was praying, God had me repent and apologize for wasting my seed. And then Mo told me like during service, like I guess word came to him and he was like, the enemy don't want your seed to go on. Like he trying to keep you from getting married, trying to keep you, he wants to kill your seed. And I was like, that's crazy because I didn't tell him that at the time. And I'm like, dang, God really is doing something for him to, because this wasn't even part of my prayer. Like I wasn't like thinking about sex. I wasn't thinking about masturbation. I wasn't thinking about nothing. But he revealed to me some things. He was like, you're not taking care of yourself and you wasting your seed. I didn't change your name for you to waste your seed. I didn't change your name for you to keep having these same perspectives. And I was like, dang, God, forgive me. Because I didn't even know, like, having casual sex, forget all the possible soul ties, the damaging of the other person mentally and traumatic events and all that. Like, there's life. Like, he was showing me, like, even in using a condom, you're spewing life into, this is potential life that is supposed to come into fruition into this world, and you're wasting it. And I was like, dang. And so when I was reading Jason Wilson's book and just getting these revelations, I'm like, this thing is more than just like a pleasure tool for myself or for women. This is something that is supposed to be cherished, something that is supposed to be precious. And it made me want to be more reserved with myself. And I was like, dang. And men don't think like that. Like, no, it sounds like, it probably sounds feminine or something, but I don't think it is. I don't
think so either. I mean, because if you really are looking at it like this is a treasure, which it is. I mean, let's think about it. How
it's definitely a treasure.
Yes, how when you spilling your seeds, I mean, come on, y'all. Like, let's have a real conversation. When you spill your seeds and you spill your seed in somebody who is not worthy of it, how does your life change?
I don't know, because I didn't. Bless God that I didn't.
I turned my head for those who are listening to the audio, but listen, just thinking about like all these women that you have changed. Like spilled your and how it's a lot of men who are literally miserable right now because they have spilled their seed into somebody who is not deserving to receive it. And not saying that 100%. The woman is not worth it. Like we're not this is not at all saying that the woman is not worth it and so forth and so on. But that wasn't your woman.
Yeah.
Right. So even your womb, ladies, is not for people to just be out here spilling their seed in your womb. Your womb is a precious place. And for those women who ain't trying to, have kids, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something that's important to talk about too, because every woman is not trying to have children. But we're talking about biologically, like the fact that even if you don't want them, if you're allowing this man to go in there, it's possible, like condom or not, because we know people who've had condoms on and they still,
yes, guilty.
Had conception happen.
Yeah.
So that's pretty heavy.
All right, so let's get back. It be going. It is. Sometimes it be going.
Yeah.
Let me get back though.
Yeah.
But the friends with benefits, my first one, right? So I think about our relationship, and so we're friends, and we have benefits from our relationship. Leaving the whole sex thing now, I think when I go back, I think my largest benefit from our relationship was your prayers for me. Especially the state I was in back then. And even you said, and I know probably could have been irritating sometimes and everything, because hurt people you don't know nothing but to spew out hurt. Like it's not like you got a lot of encouragement and positivity coming out of you. Right. So I know I could have been irritating sometimes or whatever, just not want to be bothered because it's so dark. Like nobody who wants to take that on. And so what I had me thinking, I was like, dang, she really was praying for me. But what the prayers did for me, what the prayers did was something even more greater than just helping me come out of my situation. It was helping you. He was giving you the grace and the ability to deal with me in that situation. Because most people, 9 times out of 10, even myself, like sometimes when I know somebody is they just always dark, just always got negative talk, a lot of times I don't even want to be bothered with it. So I know that's like a divine thing that God gave you the ability to deal with people in that. And so I think that was like your prayers, especially you're a prayer warrior. So that's one of the that is the largest benefit of my relationship with you being my friend. I don't know if you was going.
I hadn't even thought about it, but just in your talking about the other side of friends with benefits, I would say that what I benefit the most from your friendship is really more than your prayers, just your action in the way that you allow your action in your relationship with God. It's very inspiring. It's because again, you're a guy who came up in this very not dark world. I don't want to say that, but you remember I was saying it was giving menace to society. So I know that it's not easy. You know what I'm saying? Like being a black man, being somebody who you don't want to seem soft. I mean, you're in front of a lot of people, like you're in front of the public. So you can have all these opinions from other men who think that like, oh, you're not having sex or you're not doing this or you don't have no game or you're trying to, you know what I mean? Like you got this girl best friend, you probably trying to like scheme on her, all this other stuff. But being able to see your walk, like actually knowing you and seeing your walk, I know that with all of that, like you probably got so many knives and stuff in your back and you just keep on walking. That is inspiring to me, even though I don't feel like I feel like I'm on the other side of you a lot of times, whereas like, it's a lot of stuff that you're not telling me. Like there are all these knives in your back, but I'm talking to you in front of you like, but God is telling you're like, but it hurts, you know what I mean? And you kind of like just keep on walking. Like that's inspiring to me. That's the benefit of our relationship because what it tells me is you can keep going. Because I'm not getting nearly as much backlash as you are.
Things that I don't know. Like those are things like you never know your influence. On people or how people see you or what they think. Like I didn't know you felt like that.
Yeah,
I mean I know you was you love my relationship with God, but that right there, like that's I didn't even know you gave it that much thought.
In truth, it's happening as we're doing this because I realize that this is such a public forum and you could cower, like you could be like, nah, I don't really want to talk about that because of the fact that like again you're a black man, like but that's what kind of like just came to me, like that was really like spirit led because it was like he don't have to walk the walk. Like you could really be talking trash out here. And that's what like I've heard people say, like, and that's why I think it hurts you so much is when people actually like say it aloud to you because, they could be thinking it, but when they're so bold to say it, like, nigga, you ain't doing that for real. Like you just fronting. It hurts so bad because you're like, but I really am. And it's not easy.
It don't hurt.
It's not easy, bro.
It doesn't hurt though.
Oh, it doesn't hurt? Okay.
I mean, I know people say what they gonna say. I don't care. And this is why it doesn't hurt. Because wherever I fall at, I'm not ashamed to say that I fell right here. I'm not ashamed to say that I did this. So it's not anything that you can hold over me. And I was holding a position in the church when I fell and had sex with the girl that I was talking to that went to the church. So what it did for me is it's wrong. There's no way in hell I could justify it at all, right? But what it did is now when I see people in churches like deacons or pastors or something fall in areas like that, I'm not judging them like in condemnation because this happened to me in 2014.
Right.
So it's 2022 now. But I'm a different person than I was then. There is restoration. There is grace to get back. So I'm not judging them like they going to hell for this.
Right.
But you definitely shouldn't be in that position. I wasn't mature enough to be in that position at that time, and I understand that. Nobody can hold that. You can't be like, nigga, you be having sex. Like, if I had sex, I would say it. I'm not ashamed to say that. But I'm not agreeing with it either. I'm not going to justify it, and I'm not going to say that, God is okay with it.
Right. Exactly.
Because I know it's not. But my intentions in my walk is to walk in purity. To walk in holiness. That's my intentions.
Right.
And that's always going to be my intentions. Even if I went and had sex today with somebody, my intentions is going to be to get back up, repent and walk and holiness. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm damn sure ain't perfect.
Right. But that's why
So,
I think this is so important to have these sort of like, you know, what people would consider worldly conversations is because, I mean, come on, like, you know, these are things that people struggle with every single day.
Yeah.
And that was one of my questions. My question was like, what do you think that people are really trying to gain from friends with benefits? Like, what do you truthfully think that they're trying to gain? Like, even if they're not being honest with themselves.
Just with sex, period. Like, because you don't even have to be. This could be in marriages also. So you have people like, and I tell my friends this all the time, right? You could be faithful right now because she never closed her legs, but you never stopped having sex. Like, you was having sex, you get into a relationship. You never stop having sex at any point in time. Get engaged, having sex, get married, having sex. And so it was easy to be faithful because she never closed her legs.
Right.
But you never allowed yourself to become disciplined enough to be able to not have to need that.
Right.
Like, you never gave yourself time to say, look, I'm going to put this away and I'm going to tame my body. And so people get in marriages and then they, you know, like you said, women want to feel safe because it's not just a mental stimulation. Like, women could be turned off if bills ain't paid, if just stress around the house, it's not matching up. If things are really weighing on them, they could just not be turned on.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be because you're not attracted to them or whatever.
No.
And so, but when she closes her legs for whichever reason,
Right.
for a certain amount of time, at what point in time are you going to break?
Right.
Because you never been able to exemplify that type of discipline. You never been able to act on withholding yourself. You never trained your body. You never tamed your body. You never took control of this yourself. And so I tell them, I'm like, look, y'all doing this, and you say you faithful. We gonna see how faithful you are when that time comes.
So what do you say to men who?
It's an addiction. It's just like drugs.
Right, but what do you say to a man who is addicted to, you know, the sex that they're getting? Right? How do you promote, or what do you tell them so that they can then learn the type of thing that they're dealing with, so they can, instead of trying to fight that thing, work with that thing?
I can't, honestly. So it might sound cliche-ish, but I don't know a way outside of God. I'm not saying it's.
I agree.
I'm not saying it's not possible, because just like alcoholics, drug addicts, you pretty got people that was addicted to sex that found ways to not need it. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I haven't experienced any other way outside of God. But I do know, like, living in this Western world, sex is everywhere.
Yes,
like
it is.
you can't escape it. It's on billboards, it's on TV shows, commercials, everything. Like music, when your body, you might not be feeding yourself that, but you're getting fed it unconsciously because it's everywhere. And so unless you cut off those things that you're receiving and be intentional about what you're receiving, it's almost nothing you could do about it. It's like if you sit here and you just keep drinking soda, at some point in time, like, you're going to catch freaking diabetes or something from this. You don't know it, but it tastes good. It's not having no kind of effect on me now. Boom. Later on down the line, that's what it is. But if it was just water that you was drinking, it's just purifying your body. It's the same thing with everything else.
Right.
Like, just
So
because you're
putting
not
that
drinking,
in.
what you're putting in is going to affect you regardless if you know it or not, or
Agreed.
whether if you believe it or not. It's just going to affect you. So I really can't. You have to want to. Like, if you, who wants to stop having sex?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't want to stop. I love sex. I don't want to stop having sex. That's not why I try to walk in purity. It's not because I don't want to have sex. Like, I want to have all the sex.
I want to have all.
I want to have all of it. The thing is, I want to honor God more,
Right.
and I want to be married.
Yes. There you go.
And so, and just being honest, I want to be. It's more of I want to be married, and I know that it's not going to come if I'm going to be in this state. That's one of the things that I need to have control over. One of the things I need to be responsible with before I go into marriage. That's only because I know my calling. I'm not saying a marriage can't work if a man doesn't cut off, but I know for me, I know the standard that God holds me to and my calling, that this is how I need to be walking
Right.
before I get married.
Yeah. Did we talk about Devon Franklin's book, The Truth About Men?
No, we haven't.
Okay, so
I feel a way about him though.
it's fine. I just wanted to go on. I mean, you if you want to talk about what you feel about him.
No, I'm not.
But
'Cause I don't
in
know.
his book, he was talking about, he called it the dog, basically. So, and I think he likened it to it because it was just easier for people to kind of like relate to like taming a dog and things like that. But his whole thing was every man has it.
100.
And he wasn't saying that every woman doesn't, but what he was saying was, you know, what he can do is he can speak about the man. And he was saying that that basically is your lust. Right. And that he said that it's important for you to acknowledge it instead of trying to run away from it. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say, you know, is like, it's clear that you want it, but it's not, and you're not trying to like run away from it. You realize like that's a part of you too, but you just want something else more. And that thing happens to be God in a marriage. But I thought that it was interesting because he was saying because of the fact that we have so many things that we can, you know, we scrolling through Instagram, you see the big butt girl. Yeah. He was saying it's not, you can't just like scroll real fast because you saw it. Like it's in your mind.
It's there though.
Yeah, he's saying like it's important to acknowledge it, right? Acknowledge what's happening. You don't go deep diving, but you have to call it what it is. Like that girl gotta, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you keep on, you got to keep on doing it, or even journal about
I wouldn't
it,
recommend.
or even talk.
I wouldn't recommend
But
that.
if you see it, no. But if you see it, no. I'm not saying like go to your wife like, babe, look at this.
Not even with yourself, I would like. I wouldn't recommend. So what I do on Instagram, like I go to my Explore. If you look at my Explore page now, it's nothing there. I mean, it's stuff there, but it's not. It's no provocative looking women, any of that. Because I intentionally go and I push them and put not interested, just to change the algorithm so that it's not showing me that. Because if I click it and I look at it and I'm looking at it too long, like of course I'm not attracted in a way where I want a relationship with them, but of course I know what a good looking body looks like. I know what a good looking face looks like, and it's admirable, you know. But I'm not. I thought I had a lust problem. Right, and God was like, it's not a lust problem because I don't look at women and be like, I want to have sex with them. Like I'm not looking. It's a need to be satisfied problem.
Okay.
Like
explain to us what you mean by like what's the difference.
So lust would be every woman you want to have sex with her because you see it and it's like that's attractive. Like, dang, I wonder what it's like to have sex with her. I want to pursue that. Me is the need. When you have a need to be satisfied or some self pleasure, it doesn't matter whether you see her or not. Okay. Now you just want something in you. You want something in you fulfilled. You want something in you satisfied at this time. But it doesn't matter if you see you go looking for it because you have that need. Where lust is.
You see something, you...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I gotta... Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get that.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't think I can relate. Like, of course, I've experienced lust, but I don't... For me, because of the fact that having that connection is so important to me... I can't even, like, I notice when a man is attractive. I know hormonally when I'm on overdrive and, like, it's like, where are you going? You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. But my brakes turn on when I don't have a connection. So my accelerator won't even get to a certain point if I don't have a connection. Exactly. I'm just not going to go forward with it. So I'll just be like, skirt, you know what I mean? All the way up until the point. Like, you know what? This ain't it. Get off.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so
that's dangerous.
It is, but I mean, you know, I have to be honest with myself. If it's not there, it's just not going to happen, which is probably why, you know, there won't be a lot of men that would be out here telling you about experiences with me because I'm just like not connected to everybody. So were you done with
Nope, I got more.
Okay, go ahead. I was going to tell you more about what the Bible says, but
go ahead, let's see it.
So I was gonna go off of what was it? 1 Corinthians 6:18-20. Free from sexual immorality, all other sins a person commits are outside the body, but whoever sins sexually sins against their own body. Yes. Do you not know that your bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have received from God? You are not your own. You were bought with a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. So I highlighted that because there's so many things in there. So many things. And I just highlighted their own body, the body of Christ. We all play a role. So for me, another thing that keeps me from doing my thing
Just knowing that God lives in you.
is knowing that God lives in me, but also knowing that God lives in him.
If he does.
But
Because
so my assumption is that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not thinking about like, oh, this is the devil, so it's okay for me to like jump on this dude. No. For me, I really honestly, when I talked about the reverence that I have about human beings, when I was talking about the reverence that I have about people being of God, right? And this is not to say everybody is, but knowing that you are a human being and that you are, created, your creation, I have the sort of reverence for you.
Yeah.
That's the same reason why for me it's a little bit more than me just, sitting on it. Like Jasmine Sullivan said, it's a matter of me like realizing it doesn't just stop with me. Like I've had conversations like with the guy that I was telling you about, who I feel like I experienced that soul tie with, and I actually like sat with him and like we talked about like where we were at that time, being so young, you know what I mean, if it was our first experience and things like that. And I never took him into a consideration before that, and I realized that my maturity level had increased because I was able to do that. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say that would be something that I do to everybody or with everybody, but like I said, that experience made me want to like know, and it also put my mind in a different perspective as to like, okay, well then even if it seems like it's just sex for a man, it really isn't. You know what I mean? It really is way more than that, because he is a part of the body.
It's always
he plays a role.
Well, when you I'm gonna be completely transparent.
Sure, go ahead, please.
There was a time, this is saved, AJ. There was a time where I was like, I'm just not gonna have no sex with saved girls.
Okay. Give us that logic.
Because
you were obviously not mature at that point. You just were saved.
Clearly not. Nah. So you remember when I told you my mother used to come home and would be yelling at us because she was already mad. And I was like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't take my anger out on anybody else.
Right.
It's because my biggest thing in all my life has been like being fair. And so I felt like that's not fair to other people for me to treat them because I'm treat them a certain way because I'm mad at somebody else. And I felt the same way. There's a scripture in the Gospels that says, and that's what stopped me from having sex with like saved girls, because it says, it's better. He said, it would be better for you to be tied to a boulder and then thrown in the ocean than for you to cause one of these little ones to sin. And I was like, shit, I ain't messing with God's children.
But that doesn't mean you get to mess with
I was real immature.
Yeah.
But
even like
I was like, look here, they don't know no better, so I'm not gonna do it with people that do know better.
So how you was like, God?
Nah.
Come here real quick.
It's obvious.
Come here real quick, girl. You know God?
You got a relationship with Christ?
Right.
No. All right, bet.
All right, come here. Right.
Nah, it wasn't like that. Nah, it wasn't like that at all. But that's just how perverted. Your mind is always being renewed. It's a process. So I don't want people to just be thinking like, dang, you got saved and you went even more ham. That's actually what it seemed like. But all that stuff had to come out of you. It has to be exposed for it to be dealt with.
Yes, the pruning. So, it's the pruning. It's you getting them, those what you call it, cut back your stent, what is it? I don't know. The pruning, the dead part, the dead ends, so that the new stuff can grow. So sometimes those things have to be magnified in order for you to even see it. Because I always, ever since my friend Antoinette said it in Bible study, about when God deals with you in different places, but it's only when you do the thing that you can actually see it, right? Because if it's just sitting inside of you dormant, then there's no way that it's really being dealt with, because it's not even at the forefront. It's not something that you're even thinking about. So in that sense, you were able to see like, that's probably not the best thing.
All the mess came out of me. It was like, look, this is so we can hide the stuff, and try to walk, righteously with all your strength and everything. But at some point in time, if you're not being led by the Spirit of God, it's just going to come out.
Yeah.
Because you can't. It's no way you can walk this walk in your own strength.
No.
And so that's just what was happening at that time. Believe me, I didn't. I wanted to stop having sex, but it was just because I knew like this is what you're supposed to do. Like as a Christian, you're not supposed to be having premarital sex.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, but it wasn't because I had cherished my relationship with God or anything at the time. I was young. I was still young. I was immature, and that's what I was doing. So I'm still used to having sex. I still like it or whatever, and right now, what's happening is it's just being magnified with all of it's coming out. Because I swear it seemed like I went more crazy after accepting Christ and saying that I want to walk this walk. It seemed like I went more crazy. More stuff came out to where I just had to really be like, damn, God, I'm really messed up. Like, help me.
Wow.
With this. Yeah. So
that's real though. That's real. Cause that's what I think I want us to always be aware of is that like, this life is not for you to look pretty and glamorous and like you're an Instagram model every single day of it. Like it's not built for that. To me, I feel like when we are able to show who we really are and get those things kind of taken care of, like, you don't know what dents to pull out until you reveal the dents. To me, I feel like that's what makes life so worthwhile is because, I'm able to see your dents. You're able to see mine. Like, we're both imperfect, but we got Christ. We getting them joints pulled out, you know what I mean? And it makes me feel like people are more relatable. And I can love on and be loved by, some incredible people because of the fact that they've explored those dents. So... but I just, for real, y'all, like, are you ready to take your stance on friends with benefits? Because that's what I was about to say.
That's what I was doing.
Okay, but yeah, my stance is just that I do not recommend.
Oh, I do recommend friends with benefits. It just depends on the type of benefits.
Okay.
That's where I was going down. So the prayer was one benefit. So I'm not talking about sex, again, just to clear that up. But the prayer was my number one benefit. So if you don't have these things with your friends, then you just don't have benefits. You just have friends.
Right.
But if you want to have some friends with benefits, make sure you got some real nice benefits.
Yeah.
Prayer was the number one. I think what else I benefited from our relationship is maturity. Because clearly, like, you was more mature than me from the start.
I think most women are.
Yeah. I mean, I can say that now.
Right.
Whatever.
Never admit that years ago.
Yeah, whatever.
Ever.
But yeah, and with you dealing with me through all my mess and everything, like, you said something before. You was like, oh, no, never mind. You didn't say something. This was in our notes. But you was like, the reflection piece.
What's that?
So in relationships. So
oh, yeah. The reflection.
Your maturity was a reflection. Well, me looking at you showed me that I wasn't as mature as I thought I was. And it magnified my immaturities. And just you having the grace to deal with me, even in my immaturities, I was like, all right, I see what's going on.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and...
My nail tech was just saying that about her boyfriend. She said they met when they were in school, and he was like, I don't get why it gotta be black power this and black power that and blah, blah, that. Why we gotta send money to Africa? Like, I don't understand that. And now he's like, low-key a hotep, like,
like Zimbabwe
he's
or...
Yeah, he's like, let me get this money together for these Africans, because
Yeah.
he's like, oh, and she was like, she just saw the evolution, and she said that when she was younger. And I wouldn't know if it was prophetic or not, but she was like, okay, we'll see. Like, she was like sitting back, like, because she's all like black, the black experience, understanding her place in the world and all this other stuff. And now he is clear on it too.
Yeah.
So
it happens.
Yeah.
And so, it just allowed me to really help me grow up. It's a benefit from the relationship. And on the woman side, because I know people could say, you could do that with men. All right, on the women's side, your femininity. And so, and we talked about this before. So it allowed me to become more softer towards women and just more accepting of like their whole being
Mm-hmm.
and understanding. Like I always felt like men are right, women are second right sometimes.
Second right.
Second right sometimes.
I can't deal with you.
I'm telling you, like, I had a real misogynistic mind. I used to think
Yes.
like dogs are boys, cats
And
are
cats
girls.
are girls.
Yeah. I was like,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Embarrassing.
It's I'm not embarrassed. It is what it is. That's what I used to think as a kid. So
Dogs are boys and cats are girls.
yeah. I was like, that's why he's so small and fragile. That's why they
Right,
need. That's why they
'cause
need
they're
9
girls.
lives because they girls.
I can't deal. I cannot. You clearly didn't know about sex then. You clearly didn't know how sex worked. It's fine.
Nah, but that like it did allow me to become more accepting of women, and it helped me become more understanding of them.
Mm-hmm.
And what it did more than anything, your femininity, it made me want to be a man for women.
Yes.
And so I think that's the biggest thing, especially wanting to be married. So like, I don't think I would have had the protective sense for women that I have now if it wasn't for you.
So I'm so glad that you said that,
Why?
because I think that that's something that I want to highlight. I had a friend tell me recently that the man who she is, seeing right now, made her feel. She didn't use protected, but what she said was that she's never felt as feminine, like she could be her feminine self as much as she does with him, and that's something that she's just now exploring.
Wow.
And because of that, I know it was so heavy, it was so deep. It was like, wow, like she said. I mean, because she's always been a woman.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, right? But she's always
Hopefully.
been a woman who's been taking care of home, been doing a lot of those things that like she doesn't necessarily feel like she has a choice in if she
Yeah.
does it or not, right? I have to take care of home. I have to make sure these children are fed and so forth and so forth, so on. But she said he was literally the first man, and mind you, she's 35.
Mm-hmm.
He was the first man that she said that she could like be like soft, feminine, like
She could let her hair down.
she could let her hair. That's
Lay in his
exactly what she
arms.
said.
Yeah.
She said I could let my hair down with him. She said I never felt that before. So now she
dope.
almost feels like her claws are in him. Like
He ain't
I don't
going
want to let
nowhere.
that go.
He ain't going nowhere now.
Like I'm attached to your life.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to let that go because I've never felt it before. I
Are
don't
they
even know where I
married?
am. They're not married.
Oh, he got him one.
He does. He really, really does.
No,
And he
my
has-
fault. I said that wrong. I meant she got her one.
Well, that's another story. And I just want to make sure
Clearly
that she's
you
okay
just
with
said
her
it,
story
though.
being.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
okay. I just want to make sure that she's okay with her story being
Yeah.
said. But I think that is important. Like, because I know a lot of men are talking. I've heard in conversations with men, like, there are a lot of women who are just very hardened and
Very
like
masculine.
Yeah, they're giving off that masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's important to understand though that while it may not necessarily be your job to combat that, I think that it is important to see that if you are operating in your masculinity, there are places that you can be able to explore with that woman
Mm-hmm.
that will uncap her in a way that she's never been uncapped before.
Yeah.
So
That's a
it's
beautiful
cool
thing.
that you said that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not something that I don't. So when you say that, it's like, I can't say like, these are the steps of being feminine. These are the steps that like, I
Nah.
literally just operate in who
But
I
you
am.
you was never like a boyish type girl or anything. Like, and I don't think I've ever experienced like masculine energy from you. I'm not saying you don't have it. Everybody has a measure of it.
Yeah.
But I've never experienced it from you. Like,
Right.
I don't feel like you ever came at me with any masculine energy. And I think that's what broke me down, because it's always been like feminine energy. It's always been love. It's always been grace. It's always been, and I always see you as like a girly girl, even though you don't dress like a girly girl and everything, but it's just your person, like your whole persona, your posture is that of a girl, is that of a woman. And it allowed me to see like the fragility. I don't even know if that's a word, but it is, because I just said it. It allowed me to see the
It really is a word though.
yeah, allowed me to see how fragile and how precious y'all are, and how y'all are supposed to be taken care of. And so it made me, it changed me from, I had a sense of it before because I was coming out of a relationship, like what I feel was my first real relationship, which was just terrible. But it took me from a sense where I was using women and where I really didn't know how to be protective, but I didn't care to be either. And so it took me from that place, which was like the dark side of the street, and brought me over to the real man side of the street. And don't get me wrong, a man needs a man to become a man, but it took a real woman to show me what a real woman looks like and how a real woman needs to be taken care of. Something that a man couldn't, that another man couldn't, you know, because a man doesn't have those qualities and everything. Right. So you really did that for me, and I think that's a benefit. That's a real benefit from having like a friend of the opposite sex. That's like a real woman.
Well, I really appreciate that. I think that that also a lot of times we as women, and y'all correct me, ladies, the reason why a man can't handle us is because they're not operating in their masculinity either. A lot of men are super feminine. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, and the reason why they find like the reason why, because they're arguing with us. They're partaking in our conversations. Like they're trying to, you know, they're bothering themselves with how we are adorning ourselves. Like whether we wear lashes, nails, you know what I'm saying? Get our cuticles pushed back, like our hair done, all this other stuff. Like you're bothering yourself with these things that may not necessarily even concern you. Like we like that you notice, but oftentimes you don't even realize that when we do it, it's not necessarily for you. Like it might be something that we just enjoy. But I say that to say, maybe the reason why you've not experienced my masculinity is because I've never had to use it on you. But there are some men who probably will not say that. There are some men that probably be like, man, I mean, she be like going off on me for real. Like, and it's just like, that's not masculine energy, bro. Like, I just need you to step it up. Yeah. But you may have been already there, whereas I never had to, like, we weren't fighting each other in that aspect because there really isn't a fight.
You know, I'm not a fighter with women.
And you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I think that's very feminine. I think that there are ways to bring perspectives and stuff like that. But if your man is constantly arguing with you and, you know, constantly got a tit for tat, he want to get the last word, to me, and this is Darah speaking, this is Darah's opinion, I think that that's super feminine.
I hate arguing with women.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Like, I don't. Yeah. I try my best not to argue with women.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have nothing to go back with them because I feel like it's a lose-lose situation for me. So I'm not about to argue with you because if I'm going to argue with a man for a long period of time, it's going to get physical. Like with any man, any man, you only going to go for so long arguing before it really gets serious.
Yeah.
With the woman, I'm like, you're not going to do that. Right. I mean, I'm not. I'm not going to say anybody, but I'm not. I have no intentions on even trying to harm you. Like, for one, I don't argue with the intent to hurt somebody.
Right. Because like, that's a whole other level of arguing.
Exactly. When I'm arguing, which is not often, like, I don't even like raising my voice.
Right.
But when I'm arguing, I'm trying to argue logic. I'm trying to argue what is making sense. So if you're coming at me with something and I'm going back, it's because what you saying don't make no damn sense. You just in your feelings right now. This is what it is, and let's focus on this, or let's focus on solving this. That's my argument. My argument is never like, well, you this type of person, or you did this, you do that. I just don't like doing that. That was never really me. Yeah. To go back and forth and try to demean somebody and everything. And so I'm definitely not about to do that with a woman.
Yeah. I don't like arguing when the person is being attacked. Like, if we arguing about something, I think that that's just common law. Like, you know, people argue. You were raised differently than I, so of course. Common. Well, I think it is because, you know, it doesn't happen to everybody, but obviously there are going to be things that I have a perspective on that you don't. So to me, I think arguing at the very basic level is just when you take two different points and those people are telling the other person about their different points. Like, that really is argument.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
we've
think
had
there's such
those.
a negative
Yeah.
connotation that's placed on arguing, and that's the reason why there are a lot of, especially men, who be like, I don't argue. I don't,
Yeah.
I dated somebody like that. He was like, I'm not gonna
See,
argue with
people
you.
might think that's passive. I just don't have time for it.
I know, but see, I feel like it's healthy. I don't want to be with a man who's like, all right, you got it.
No, it depends on what it is. Because, so, you heard the saying, happy wife, happy life, right?
Yes, what I think is the most toxic saying.
I don't. I don't at all. I used to, but I don't think it is at all. And the more you deal with women, the more you realize, like, a lot of things just aren't, a lot of things aren't worth debating. They aren't worth opposing.
No, I
Like,
agree.
like, just let her have her way with that one. Like, it's,
No, I agree. And if that's what we're talking about, if there's like that patronization of like the woman, like just let her have what she wants, then that's a whole different perspective.
I'm
But I
not
think
saying
it's-
like become the mentee and you following her, like you let this whole Jezebel run your house. And nah, I ain't saying that. That ain't happy wife, happy life. That's
But
nigga,
that's
you
what
a
I'm
punk.
saying. If you're doing it, if you're
Yeah.
saying like happy wife, happy life, and the patronization of the woman, like saying like just give her what she want, dog. Like it ain't even really that serious. Like you
Yeah.
can, then I can see why that like people would hang on to that. But I really honestly don't think that it's, I don't think that it's correct to say that in the innocence of what it really is, which is somebody is always gonna compromise and it'll always just be the man. It's better that way, but I'm just.
I say most of the time it's going to be the man. See,
Yeah.
here's the thing, and this is why most of the time it's going to be the man, because when you have two people that are truly together like that, like a man, like our happiness is in making you happy.
Yeah.
So when we saying like happy wife, happy life, like I'm not gonna be all right if you ain't. So I need you to be, I need you to have joy. I need you to be happy. I need you to have peace. I need you to feel secure. And so, if I have a happy wife, then whatever's messed up in my life, she gonna help me.
That's true. And if you look
Yeah.
at it like that, I definitely agree with it. But as
Yeah.
long as she is doing that, though, I think it gets toxic when
I
you
had a right wife.
Yeah, that's true. I think it gets toxic when you are only making sure that she's good, and then there's no like reciprocity or the reciprocation just isn't there.
Look here, that's my main reason for making sure she's good.
Right, and that
I
makes
don't
sense.
even care if that sounds selfish.
No,
Yeah.
no. I think if you planting the seed, and she just making sure she garden that joint, put the water on it, provide the sunshine, make sure no weeds get in there.
I'm making sure you're good so that this relationship is good.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So, so we did you have any more to add?
I got one more.
Okay, go ahead.
Your relationship with God is also a benefit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I think
So-
I think that's for me now, especially with my friend group. I can say that is what keeps us afloat is the fact that all of them have their own personal relationship with God.
Yeah. So that's how it benefits me is because it holds me accountable.
Right.
Especially what you just said earlier. And so it puts more pressure on me to be like, oh damn, nigga, you really need to focus on being this guy because this woman that you love looks up to you like this. I'm like, that's what I was like. I didn't know you gave it that much thought. And I mean, it's not a scary pressure where I'm gonna be like, oh, I can't live up to this. No,
Well, I feel like you can handle it, but
I mean, I
with
know I can
God,
handle it,
and if
yeah.
you didn't have a relationship with God, I probably wouldn't have said that out loud.
Yeah.
Because it would be too much pressure. That's why I'd be praying for the people who don't know who God is more than I'd be praying with people who do, because it's a lot of, if you think that you're the result of everything that happens to you, like everything, like me putting this pen right here is gonna cause there to be an earthquake tonight, like, cause I did that, right? And so I caused an earthquake. Like, people who have that sort of logic, like they are the reason why things happen. That has to be a very difficult life, because there's no safety net.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing to catch
Yeah,
you.
you
There's
gonna
no
blow your
reason why
top.
you should be happy tomorrow. Like, if you didn't do your homework or whatever. Like, I literally can just not do anything, get up tomorrow and be super happy.
Yes. Me too.
Because I know God.
Yeah, me too.
And I realized, like, he didn't want me to do nothing last night.
I got this beautiful rest.
Right, that part.
Yeah.
Even without rest, it's possible
Yeah.
for me to have joy. It's possible for me to be happy. But I think that
I think that's just the blessing in knowing God.
that is a
joy.
blessing, knowing God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just wanted to highlight that we wanted you guys to write in to us. Our email address is deepskydivingpodcast@gmail.com. I'm sorry. We're really getting this together, guys. We're going to be a little bit more.
What? Deep Skydiving Podcast @gmail.com.
Yes.
Write in whatever you want to write in. You got
Yes.
Deep Skydiving Podcast on TikTok, Instagram.
Yep.
Check those out. We have the episodes we'll be dropping
On the
To-
YouTube,
yeah,
so you
to
can
be
like,
announced.
subscribe. You can dislike, because we with that too. If you don't like it, leave a comment. Say something controversial. Let us talk about it.
I'm not going to. You can dislike, but you better not.
I don't mind, because
Oh,
I realize that people.
All publicity
people
is
feel
good
like,
publicity.
yeah, people, and it's not even that. It's just people gonna feel the way they want to feel,
Yeah.
and I know that, So just write into us, deepskydivingpodcast@gmail.com. We're getting our website together. It's gonna be deepskydiving.com or deepskydivingpodcast.com. Either way, you'll be able to get either URL. You'll be able to access the website. Next, we're gonna have AJ pull our next topic. You ready?
Let's do it. Topic jar.
Pull the top off the topics.
Got to keep them fresh. It's a mason jar,
Oh yeah.
That's how you keep the topics fresh. It's like vegetables.
Did you
I was supposed
shake
to
them up?
All right, nah, I didn't shake them up. I don't think it matters. But listen, topics.
Shake, rattle, and roll.
I think I still grabbed the same one.
You probably
It
did.
feels like it. All right, let's see what we got. Drum roll, please. And the next episode, dang, this is a long sentence. Ooh. The topic will be, what is romance? Is it important? How can a person who doesn't understand it, what does that say?
Practice it in their relationship.
Practice it in their relationships.
That sounds like a good one. So
Oh, here we go. Romance.
yes,
All right,
should be
so
interesting.
next week, it's all about romance.
Yes, and y'all, be very, 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 very aware of the attachments that you are making to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware of the benefits that you're getting from these the friends with benefits situations. If it's sexual, honey, I'm gonna just be praying for you. If it's anything else that we named, AJ had such an eloquent list. I didn't have an eloquent list, but I think it's very clear that I don't necessarily condone y'all.
Friends with benefits.
Yeah, out here
That's all right.
sexually.
I don't either.
Sexing up folk.
I don't either. I don't know
Willy-nilly.
what you mean? You don't. I don't either.
No, I'm saying you had an eloquent list of other benefits besides
Oh,
sex.
okay.
I just had the
Yeah.
sex one because that's all I was thinking of. But I thought
No.
that was dope that you had that. So if you have those,
Yeah.
then by all means continue to partake in those friendships with benefits. But if
Mm-hmm.
it's just the sex, then please.
If it's
No.
the sex, it's not really a benefit.
Yeah, it ain't gonna last you
That's
long
not a
anyway.
benefit, yeah, so.
But we're gonna be praying for y'all. But in the meantime, make it work, y'all. Make
But-
it all work.
Be prepared for. I said, be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared for next week because this romance episode, it's the queen. It's gonna be the queen right here. Because I'm a FYI,
Yeah, he's not really.
I am a romantic guy, just not a heavily romantic guy. I'm still learning.
Give him a little.
I got a little
sample,
bit. I
man.
got a little bit of romance. What you mean?
Give him a little sample of your romance.
How am I supposed to do that?
Just tell him something you do in a romantic situation.
I'm gonna tell y'all next week when we discuss it.
Oh, come on. All right, I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm gonna let you have it.
All right, y'all, man. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yes, we love y'all. Make it work, y'all.
God bless.
Make it work.